People think that only working on myself and going to a shrink will make the change. No, it's great. Going to a shrink is wonderful, or a life coach, reading books, it's amazing. Listening to podcasts, great. But you need to change, to do things that we never done before, to think in a way that we never thought before. Basically how you act. And people are acting by how they see and think about themselves. If you truly value yourself and speak nicely to yourself, and I'm working on this every day I'm talking to myself purposely. I'm saying wonderful things about myself since I am waking up, and thank you for another day, and thank you for being healthy, and saying nice things about myself. I'm amazing, I'm funny, I'm beautiful, I'm smart. Okay, I'm saying to myself the things that I've even heard when I was a child from my mother or father. So here is me being the parent to my inner child and saying all of those wonderful things to myself. Okay, because then I will see myself in a different way, and the world I will see, therefore I will see the world in a different way, and everything will change. And yep, it's not so easy. The thing is that it's not easy at the beginning, but you will get used to this. You will get used to being aware of every thought and not judging it. You will be used of understanding, of sitting with the shitty feeling or the anxiety or whatever kind of feeling is coming towards you, and that it's unpleasant feeling. You will get used to talking to yourself and understanding and journaling and being more aware of who yourself without judgment, as our parents were doing to us when we were kids. And because of that, we had to disguise our feelings and our true self and doing new stuff. It's super scary. Try to do new stuff, and before that you have to see the world as a new place. And yes, it's also you have to try to do new things, to truly act in this world. It's very scary. Each and one of us experience that in a different way. No one will truly understand what you're going through. No one will truly understand you when you're in the process of change, not becoming the new you, the true you. But why it's so important to do it, even though it's the beginning, at least. At the beginning, it can be 1 week or maybe 1 year. If you will not do the change, you will pass your traumas to your kids. Because when we have unsolved things, we will teach our kids how to act. Even if the way we are acting is bringing us only anxiety and only fear and only unpleasant feelings. But this is the only thing that you know, right? So, and when we do what we know, even if it's harming us, so we will pass it genetically, okay? Things are mental illnesses are passing towards the kid. It passes genetically. Being addictions, if your parent has a food addiction, like my mom have a food addiction, she passed it to me. If you have a parent who's alcoholic, or someone in a family member who's alcoholic, there is a higher percent you will get it either. And think about that people see addictions only as drugs and alcohol, but food is also addiction. You can be also addicted to feelings, to being, if a person is addicted to feeling sorry for himself, to being a victim, to plenty of horrible feelings, to being anxiety, okay, from that the brain takes its dopamine at the beginning, the parent can pass it just because he's your parent. And then you as a child, you will grow up in the environment that the most famous case, that if the father is a father that doesn't show any love and empathy to his son. So, and it's horrible, right? It's the son is suffering. It doesn't like it. This feeling is horrible. The son will grow up and act exactly towards his son the way his father acted towards him, even though he felt like shit. Okay, that he tried to please his father. Children should not please their parents. A 10-year-old should not be responsible of how a 30, 40-year-old is supposed to feel. Okay? Children should be children. Kids should be kids. They don't know. They are new in this world. They should not be responsible of a person who had the ability to raise a kid. So this person's supposed to have the ability to fucking raise himself and to take care of himself. Okay? But this is not the reality. The reality, the norm, is that kids responsible of how the parent is feeling, and the kids is aware of the parent, how the parent is behaving, and the connection between his parents. Okay? And you will pass all of the traumas that you had to the kid, not only genetically, because our traumas impacts how we view the world and how we view ourselves. So therefore, I will act around the house, around this child, as I am acting already, but it came from the trauma, and he will see that this is the way his mom is acting. And a kid thinks, and the kid learns from the parents how to act, because he learns how to survive around the parent and also how to survive in his world. So he needs to learn from the grown person, because the grown person knows what he's doing. No, many people doesn't fucking know what they're doing, okay, as a parent. And then you are the traumatic parent who's acting like he's acting because he has his traumas, that he never went to a shrink and never asked for help and never did the change. He will teach you how to act as if you have his trauma. And you will know that you have trauma because you will hear, when I was a child, this and that happened to me, from your parent. When I was a child, I could tell my mom, even when I grew up, I would tell my mom that, I felt alone all of my life. I was growing up, I was always alone in my room. I felt invisible. I was crying every night in my bed. I was always alone. I felt that you don't see me, that you don't care about me. And was really the case. And it took a lot of time for her to apologize for all of what she did or not did when I was a child. Something like when I was 1 year old, even more. And I was telling that to her for years, even before I became 20 years old. And always when I'm telling her that, and even until this day, if we're talking about my childhood or something like that, and I could say, yes, I felt alone when I was a child. I was always alone. She would tell me, yeah, me too. When I was a child, I was always alone too. My mother grew up in the, like, when there is a kid, I don't remember how to say it in English, but she was at school that it's not, you go home every time, you sleep in school, okay, but she had parents. And the thing with my mother, that she's deaf, but her family is not. So because of that, they didn't knew how to act with a deaf child, because they don't know sign language, and they don't know how to speak correctly, so my mom could read lips easier. So she said that she was always felt alone and not apart, because she was always in a room, and if she's not, so at school, she was sleeping at school, so she was always alone. She felt invisible because she wasn't a part of it. And the first time she told me this, I was like, are you serious? You know how does it feel to be always alone as a child in his room? And she did exactly the same thing to me. Because this is what she knew. She didn't know something else. She thought that, okay, now I'm grown up, so now I can think about myself, even though I have a child. The child can be by himself. I don't give a fuck. I will do my own thing. I will go clubbing. I will be with my partner. And I don't care. She can do whatever she wants. And really, my mother didn't give a fuck about my grades. Even for years I wasn't going to school. My mom didn't care. And I decided to change by myself. But she passed it to me. And I know that if I will not make the change, I will do the same thing to my children. Not because I want to hurt them, because that's what I know. And we do only what we know. We love the comfort zone, not because it's comfortable. It's not comfortable. Only because we know. Even if it's like horrible and we feel anxious all the time, at least we know that we will feel anxious. And we think that if we will go to the unknown zone, it will be even worse. But it's not true. And if you are in the same position as I am, you had shitty childhood. In some cases, I have also wonderful memories, not from my household, but as a waitress. When I was working as a waitress, I had lots of fun. I started to work as a waitress as 14 years old. So from there, I have lovely memories, and I have lovely memories from school because the teachers always loved me, not in a pervert way. And I love the teachers also, and the teachers saw me. I wasn't invisible for the teachers. In high school, and they cared for me, and I felt seen, and I felt loved, and I felt appreciated by the teachers. So it was lovely for me because they were the grown people that I could learn from in a way about myself. But I have also bad memories, and it's okay. So if you are like me, it's our responsibility to fucking stop it, and change. Not only for ourselves, to stop living our parents and their generations before that traumas, and also not doing the same thing to our next generation, because it's so fucking stupid. Really, it's so stupid to feel shit and to do the same thing to your kids. Like, I understand why, but it's crazy. So it's good to know that we will pass it forward, not with intention to hurt, but because this is the only thing that we know. And the only way to not pass the shitty thing is to change and to heal and to become our true self, and therefore stop passing forward the trauma that goes from generation to generation, and also your own traumas that you have from your life. So you have so many, and then you will pass it forward. So we are stopping it right now. And trust me, it's amazing. Changing and becoming your new self, your true self, it's the most amazing thing in the world. I've started my journey when I was 20 years old, 7.5 years ago, and with the years everything becomes more clearer, and more amazing. And it's so easy. It makes everything easier to deal. Truly. Trust me. Do it. Do it. Trust me. Changing is amazing. Becoming your true self is amazing. Not only for you, but also for your next generation. I hope that I helped you today in some way. I would be happy to read in the comments what you think. Maybe you have something cool to share, your own unique story, to help me and to help the people around this world who read in your comment. And just I wish you a magical day full of magical adventures and a magical life.